So, many of you ask story, how was my life before the attempt suicide? Like, you guys were so worried when I dropped that podcast about my failed attempt suicide. So, a lot of you ask story, how was my life before then? Was I happy? What was going through before leading to that moment? So the thing is that the story is that I was happy at that time, John. My life before the attempt suicide is that I thought my life was the best. I thought my life was starting to become everything that I wished for, and it actually did for some time. Cause now remember at that time that the attempt suicide was in 2018, right, December, but 2016 and 17, that was my best years. That was my best time, career wise, personal wise, emotional wise, spiritual wise, mental wise. I was at the best of the best that I can ever be. I was happy, genuinely happy. I've never experienced depression. Well, I always had signs of depression, but I never knew what was depression until that year, until 2018. But 2016 and 2017. So let me tell you guys a story. So 2016 actually, let me take it back to 2016. So 2016, I was in college studying IT. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but that's a story for another day. I was studying IT. I always loved cameras. I always wanted to be a filmmaker. So my career choices back in high school, it was psychology, funny enough. It was film and television. It was IT. Yeah, it was those three things. But film and photography, film and television production has always been my number one love. Cause I remember back in high school, we were in a crew, like in a hip hop crew. I had a hip hop crew. We were rappers, and my career ended before it even began. My rapper career ended before it even began. So why? Because I figured out that I suck at rapping. I can't rap for shit. I can't write raps and rhymes like the way my guys were writing them, right? So now I said, let me figure out something that I will do outside of rap, but within the hip hop space. So as I was like, okay, I will be the manager of this group, of this rap group, and while trying to find studio time, because I knew some local producers like Easy. So Easy is the producer, is the guy who's responsible for my soundtrack for this podcast. He's a dope ass producer. I'll leave his details in the description below. Dope hip hop producer. Starting to do piano, starting like he's versatile, he's dope. So now I always knew Easy had the studio because me and him were close like that. So like I was like, nah, get these guys to come and record. We'll organize mine to pay for studio time and the whole thing. So I was like, nah, but you guys will need, because I've always seen music videos playing on TV, pictures, rappers taking pictures, and I was like, okay, you guys will need videos at some point, and you guys will need pictures. So let me do those things. Let me provide those things. So I started shooting back in high school, like for fun. I made extra cash, nyana, shooting go high school. I had a digital camera. So it used to shoot. It was a Samsung digital camera. It used to shoot video and videos and pictures. So I'd shoot pictures, print them out, sell them. Whenever there was functions, go scale. I will. Hey, Kagiso, this school keeper, Pasjuk, would shoot and we print, then we sell to the kids, to whoever, to the students, to the teachers. So that's that. So I said, okay, let me become the group's photographer and videographer back in high school. Cool. Then fast forward to 2016, fast forward to college times. I was doing IT. First 2 months, first 3 months, first 6, 8 months, it was dope. Then around July, August, I bought myself a camera. Bought myself a camera. After buying myself a camera, I went to to Red Pepper Studios there at Randbeck. Trying my luck. Then I went to then I went to the SABC, tried my luck. Then I started shooting. Then shooting. I was happy, Joe. Then the end year of 20. Okay, before then I knew a guy, Puffy, a friend of mine, nasebenza ko Red Pepper, right, as an intern. So I told him, dude, invite me. That was good. I want to see this. I want to see how production happens. That time, Shizness was still playing, Sisterhood was still playing, Crazy was still playing. This tech show was still playing. So I went to, and I remember the time he invited me over to studio, it was the time I was writing my exams. So I was like, exam, Red Pepper, exam, Red Pepper, exam, Red Pepper, Red Pepper. I went to Red Pepper Studios. I went to Red Pepper Studios. I spent the whole day there. Because at Red Pepper, there was in one studio, they were shooting 4 shows in a day. Changing setups, changing lightings, changing the mood, the theme, and everything. But in one small studio, they were shooting 4 shows a day. Every shows that was happening in Crazy, in SAB, in ETV at that time, they were pre-recorded. Only ones Shizness was live and thing after some time, but it took them time for them to achieve that thing, but they were pre-recorded. Cool. Then okay, cool. Then I went there, saw everything, took pictures, behind the scene pictures, made some sort of connections because I was still up and coming, didn't know shit, didn't know what to do. YouTube was my best school. So I'm a self-taught filmmaker, self-taught photographer, self-taught filmmaker, video editor, everything. Then I came across Tumi. Tumi he's a dope guy, friendly as fuck. Became a mentor. He taught me how to shoot, how to edit, how to handle, how to do film and television production works. Then after then, he passed me the Talk SA gig. That's my life before the attempt suicide. So as soon as the SABC Talk SA gig came along, I thought, yeah, I'm gone. I'm gone, boys. I'm gone. Like, I'm out of here. I've made it. My career have begun. My career has. Then and it was like that for some time, because now the project began at 2017. So for the whole of 2017 and some part of 2018, I was traveling the country, Joe. Remember, first time ever seeing the world the way I saw it. First time ever traveling the world the way I traveled. Went to Durban, went to Cape Town, to Mpumalanga, Free State, Northwest, Limpopo, like every part of the country I've went. Get to Limpopo, we belong to this village, we belong to that village, we belong to that village. Go to Mpumalanga, we spend 2 days in this village, to the next village, go to Free State, blame here, a week. Like, Talk SA was crazy, Joe. It exposed me to a lot of things. I'm well traveled and well exposed because of that show. And my knowledge for TV and film production it got enhanced because of that show, and all thanks to Tumi. Remember, at the time, I was still beginning. I was still new in the field, still new in the industry. Didn't know shit. Didn't know what to do. But Tumi had faith in me. Tumi had believed in me, because now I was always with him 24/7. Used to sleep at his place, at his crib for some time, at some point, just to learn. Because I wanted to learn. I wanted to know this thing. And also, before the Tokyo gig came along, I was always contemplating to drop out, to focus more on this film photography path that I want to take. Because I started dropping out of college. I started missing out of classes. I was late in assignments. Didn't write some of the tests. So it was always the plan for me to drop out, to leave this thing. But I needed a solid plan. I think I'm always the type of person to have a solid plan. Even now, with my current path that I'm taking, my current journey. Because now, mind you, I've stopped shooting, I've stopped filming, I've stopped editing, I've stopped everything. But I needed a solid plan before I could actually say, no, what, I'm done with this chapter of my life. Let me do something else. Let me see what the world has to offer for me, especially at this time, because a lot of things that happened, I was not motivated, I was not inspired, I was not in love with filming and photography. And I will do a whole podcast about that. I will tell you guys a story why I came to this point. Why I came to a point that I'm retiring in this field. In this field that I know so very well. I've worked with so much brands. I've done so much cool shit. I've shot some cool shit. Then I wake up one day and be like, I think I'm done with this chapter. Let me call it quits. Let me retire. I will tell you guys a story one day. I will record a podcast. It's a podcast on its own. It's so very interesting. It's a very long story, so touching, so emotional. But yes, then I dropped out of college. Then the Tokyo gig started taking off. Traveling. Lesotho, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Free State, Bloemfontein, Northwest, Cape Town, Durban. All parts the Cape, Western, South, Northern, with this Tokyo gig, we've traveled, and dude, I was happy, Joe. That was the best times of my life. I never knew the end of this show will mean almost the end of my life. Literally, I didn't know that. No one could have said that. Even if someone could have told me that, I never can believe it, Joe. The way how things planned out. I saw I had a vision. I had an epiphany. Okay, now here's how my life should be, and here's the direction that my life should take. And I was so happy for that. Only to find out that 2018 Tokyo contract will end, and the commission editor said, no, this is the last season. We're no longer renewing this show. We don't longer want this show back on air. This show cost a lot. The SABC doesn't have budget for this show anymore. So after this season, it's the end season. So there was season 3? Or season 4? Not sure. I don't remember. But yeah, the SABC said, no, guys, this is a dope show. Nice show, nice, well put together, nice edited. And mind you, I was shooting it. I was also part of the editing process of it. So that's how, for me, I was like, I'm within. I'm in. There's no way that I'm gonna be broke ever again. I'm in the SABC. Both feet in the SABC. Happy as fuck. Then things took a different turn. But then I remember during that time, I was dating this girl, right? Then one day she came to me like, "Exem Raina, and I think it's bad. I think I'm pregnant." It's like, no, whoop, whoop. Before here, I was like, no, that can't happen. No, ma'am. I was like, no, ma'am. I was like, no, ma'am. Don't lie, ma'am. And mind you, before she came, prior, it's like I was broke. She always told me, "Hey, you'll never have one. I know, not with me. Hey, what?" But because I was broke. But as soon as she starts seeing me, I was my name all over TV, credits, traveling, statuses, living within the moment, within, enjoying everything, hanging out with celebrities and whatnot. Yay! She came with the story. Then weeks later, she came like, dude, you know what? Miscarriage, lost the baby. It's like, okay, cool. Not to be insensitive, but okay, cool. And that was that. But a part of me was hurt, the part of me was sad, the part of me felt, some type of way. But cool. Then the SABC closed the contract. The show was canned. I was still happy. Right? Wrong. Wrong. Why do I say wrong? Because now life started to take a different turn. For me, life started taking a different turn where the life that I knew, the life that I saw, the vision, the epiphany that I saw, this is how my life should be and how this is the direction that my life should take, it stopped. Actually, directions shifted to a different side, to a point where the little mind that I had, they fell. The little recognition that I had, they fell. The little connection that I thought I've made, only to find out I was fooling myself. They were never real connections. They were never real solid connections. The commission editor somehow of SABC somehow forgot who I was. Cause you'll be surprised, because now every week after the show, after recording and editing the show, after shooting and recording the show, I was the one who was dropping off the tapes at the SABC. Because Dumi was editing, I was with him editing. So after editing, I go to QC, which is quality control at Randburg. Then from Randburg, I go and drop off the tapes at ABC so that SABC can have an episode for next week to air. And that was dope. That was nice. But after that, after the last episode, she suddenly forgot who I was. SABC gig ended. All episode aired. It was quiet. It was quiet even for Dumi. Dumi didn't have gigs as well, so it was quiet for both of us. I would get gigs here and there. People will not always have money, always wanted favors, so at some point I think it becomes a burden, at some point I think it becomes a debt, at some point I think it becomes a cost for you, especially as a business, as a creative, so yeah, man. Then things just turned the wrong way. Then my uncle passed away. That's when reality hits. That's when my life was before the attempt suicide. Then after my uncle passed, then that's when life, after that, then life was never the same. Up until the December of 2018, life was never the same. And yeah, guys, that's how my life was before the attempt suicide. I was happy. I was traveling the world. I've traveled the world. I was well exposed to certain cultures, certain people, certain things, certain environments, certain food. So now all those things went, and I was young at that time, didn't know how to control my emotions, didn't know how to react, didn't know how to deal with rejection. And because at some point, somehow it became rejection because I was nkare ba ntholetse ko ntle. Now, I go back wena. Fella mo. Feditse le fedileng. So right mo. So I didn't know how to react and didn't know how to deal with rejection, and it became a danger to me, and it became a monster on its own because I used to brag. I think that's one thing that killed, that played a part. Bragging, living within the moment, living through the moment, not within the moment rather, but through the moment. It became something it's dangerous to me. But yeah, that's how life was before the attempt suicide. And this was the Marumulo podcast with me, Tatsi Spider-Man Samazona. Stokol Sare Marumulo go Pela Mashako Patima Masapayana, go Tampo Stat, Moses Kotan, Kihakile. That's a